Next, I want to show you mass calibration, and this is something that has been made so much easier on this generation of Orbitrap instruments, the Exploris. So we have this hidden compartment here where we have the syringe pump, and we can go ahead and load up our syringe with calibration solution. Lock this into place. Go ahead and grab the tubing, close the door, connect it to the source housing, tighten it up here, and then go over to our instrument to go ahead and calibrate. Now I'm sitting here in front of the instrument control computer, and I'm going to go ahead and show you mass calibration. And this is something that was made much more simple on this generation of instruments. So let's go ahead and take a look.
So here we're going to go ahead and calibrate our instrument, and we're going to do a simple positive mass calibration. The first step would be to connect a syringe with our calibrant flex mix solution. We can go ahead and turn the syringe on. Now, one nice feature here is I can prime it pretty quickly, push some solution through so I can get my flex mix over to the mass spec. So you can see the nice display of ions that are coming through. And I'm done priming here, so I'm going to go back to 5 microliters per minute. So on the calibration tab to the left, I have positive polarity selected. On mode, I have calibrate. Then I select the positive polarity, and I have a few options. So I can do mass or mass and system calibration, but I'm going to go ahead and show how to do a simple mass calibration, since this is the one that you'll be doing more routinely. And I have a nice set of instructions to the left to help me through. But basically, before you begin your calibration, what you're going to do is look at the nice display of ions collecting. You can go ahead and set your settings. Now, I have, for my ion source settings, I have preset settings stored. So I have this flex mix tab selected, or settings saved, so I can go ahead and click apply, and it'll quickly upload the settings that you would use for calibration. So very low gas settings, and the voltages are also preset. Before I go ahead and start calibrating, I'm going to look at the injection times. You should always have below 1 millisecond. You should never get high above that. If you do, then you probably have a dirty mass spec. Maybe you need to, flush some solution through the syringe needle, change your transfer tube, because that is indicative of, ions are having a harder time accumulating. So maybe it's dirty. So you want to make sure, be diligent about this, always have an injection time below 1 millisecond. And then over here, you can see the top intensity peak is 3E8, and that's a good reference range. And if you have questions about what this should look like, or the tick, what the view of the tick should look for flex mix, the flex mix solution has that guidelines on the PDF that comes with the product or on their website. So I would encourage you to check that out. But now that we're happy with our infusion here, we're less than 1 millisecond, I'm going to go ahead and do some real-time monitoring. So if I click on this lower right-hand button here, I'm going to do plot chromatogram, and I'm going to go ahead and monitor the tick for spray stability. Click OK. And lovely, I have some nice, good, strong signal, less than 5%, which is nice. Now, I know I made this operation sound very simple and easy. Oh, wow, I'm getting less than 5%. But from just my overall experience of getting good spray stability, I would always make sure that we have the proper distance, that you're at the low setting for the needle, the Hesse needle, that you're, push the probe as far close to the source as you can. Some people do choose to take off the sweep cone because you don't need it at these low flow rates, and that will help you get fast spray stability pretty quickly, or to spray stability pretty quickly. Another thing you can do is adjust the voltages. So maybe you need to taper off on your voltage or increase your voltage, and that will help, or play around with the gas settings. But most of the time, once you know your mass spec well, you should be able to preload those settings, Go back to the settings that worked last time, keep a log. That's also a helpful tip. And then get nice mass spray stability. So I'm happy with this. It's less than 5%. I'm going to go ahead and stop monitoring it. Go over to the calibration tab, make sure that I have calibrate, positive, and mass, and then go ahead and click start to initiate that calibration sequence. You'll notice at the start it does check our spray stability, so that was a good reason why to check that ahead of time. Let the program go ahead and run through, and it's a pretty quick calibration here. We're already nicely tight, right around 0 ppm deviation, slightly deviated on the mass accuracy, and then we passed. So that is a simple, pretty straightforward and simple operation. And the next step is we're getting a nice report out showing what the calibration looked like. So that's a nice file for your keeping. And that's it. That's how you would calibrate your instrument.